is not a willpower issue. This is a neurologic state. So, what quiets food noise? This is really the interesting part, what we can do about this. And if you think about it, it's just doing the opposite things that break it. So the first thing that we can do to quiet food noise is to stop ultra processed foods. As I explained, ultra processed foods, really affect and give super normal levels of dopamine, reduce the amount of dopamine receptors, and thus we now have this tolerance, just like drugs, where we need more and more food for the same effect. Also, we have this anticipatory signal where we're always thinking about food. And if we can just eliminate the drug, ultra processed foods, then we can regain that sensitivity. Now, a lot of studies have shown that the right way to do this is to gradually decrease the ultra processed foods over 2 to 4 weeks. That seems to be the easiest thing to do for people, and it has a very good effect. Of course, every time you have ultra processed food again, it's going to desensitize us again and desensitize us quicker. So my recommendation here is if it's hyperpalatable, if it's in a bag or a box, I think we all know what this stuff is. I know it's really yummy, but it's really someone just taking advantage of you. So getting rid of this has huge benefits for the rest of your life. The second thing we can do is add protein, increase the protein intake. Now, a lot of us think about, oh, that means more is better. The right number comes down to about 25% of our food intake. A matter of fact, there's some really interesting studies that show that getting about 25% protein intake, on average, people eat about 500 less calories a day. And here's the main reason. When we think about macronutrients, protein, sugar, fat, protein has the biggest effect on fullness or satiety. It makes us feel full, strongest, and quickest. So eating protein has big effects. It increases our GLP-1 level. So the level of GLP-1 in our body goes up when we eat protein, especially when we eat protein first. You get some side benefits as well. When you eat protein, you increase the amount of PYY, which is another hormone that affects satiety in our body. It also decreases ghrelin, which is another hormone. Ghrelin makes us hungry. So by decreasing it, it makes us less hungry. A lot of complicated stuff there. I think that the real takeaway with protein is it helps in every way in the metabolic system and pathway. And then the third thing that really helps quiet food noise is getting adequate sleep. And I think all of us know what it feels like that day after we don't sleep well. We seem to be hungry and hungry for junk food, meaning the ultra processed food and sugar. And there's multiple reasons for this. But I think that the most interesting thing that I've looked at in this category is that from UC Berkeley, there was a study in 2019 that showed that just one day of inadequate or poor sleep really affected GLP-1, our mesolimbic system, and how sensitive we were in terms of dopamine with food. And it causes us to be hungry all day long and to have food noise all day long. So I know it's hard every day. I'm really all about what's real, what we can do. So this is something to strive for and think about, is just doing the best we can with sleep. It definitely influences how hungry you are and your relationship with food and what foods you eat the next day. So this is not, I think what the real takeaway here is that This is not a willpower issue. This is a neurologic state. As I explained in the video, everything going on with dopamine, this is no different than what their tech companies are trying to do with scrolling, what drug dealers are trying to do with getting you to take drugs. This is what the food industry is doing. Ultimately, they're about profit and they're trying to get you hungry and thinking about food all day. This is not a willpower issue. You're not broken. All of this food noise and this conversation in your head can go away by really just doing these three simple things. Ultra processed food, getting rid of it over the next 4 weeks. Eating more protein, starting with protein, and getting adequate sleep. If you find this interesting, as I do, the topics are fascinating. Everything about metabolism, how much this affects our everyday life. I encourage you to subscribe below. I do 2 videos a week. In addition, a lot of these topics are dense. There's a lot in them. This is why I developed the metabolic assessment. And in there, it takes about 10 minutes. It's free, it's detailed, it's personal, and you will be able to see things in your own life that are dysregulating you, dysregulating your metabolic system, and what you can do about it. So I encourage you to look at that. It's in the link below as well. And even a bonus on top of that is a food noise assessment. If you just want to look at this, what we were just talking about, it takes about 2 minutes. You can see the things in your own life that are affecting your food noise so you can get some benefit right now. It's free. Link in the bio. Looking forward to seeing you on the next video.